This is PJNET.TV, and this is my perspective and comments. In this video segment of My Perspective and Comments, we cover politics, society here and abroad, and the events of the day that are shaping our nation. PJNET.TV, My Perspective and Comment, coming to you with a worldview, one nation under God. Welcome to My Perspective and Comments. And I'd like to start out, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I had mentioned to you that the COVID updates would no longer be giving COVID updates, but I want to back up a step here because there have been some changes. There have been some people and society in many countries are now the light is now on, and where a lot is coming to light right now regarding the illness, regarding the efficacy of these vaccines, and more studies are showing who's getting infected, and it's now going on 2.5 years, and we're not seeing herd immunity, and the questions need to go out why, and there are more studies that are coming out now that might be answering that question why we haven't reached a herd immunity, and answering the questions that we heard 2.5 years ago by the Patriot doctors, those doctors that are affiliated with the FLCCC, that had protocols that were screaming and bringing the information to us that we needed. We had available to us early treatment, not get tested. Oh yeah, you've got COVID. Go back home until you can't breathe and then come back into the hospital. But they were talking and showing how early treatment was the way to go. And they were also ringing the alarm bell is that you don't mass globally vaccinate in a population globally in the middle of a pandemic. So I just want to touch again. I had mentioned to you FLCCC, Dr. Pierre Corey, Dr. Paul Merrick, and a team that they have put together that have been giving life-saving information and protocols through this 2.5 years. I also want to mention he just passed away here 2 months ago, I think now, maybe 3, Dr. Vladimir Zelenko. And he was a globally well-known researcher, as well as a Nobel Prize appointee and a physician for numerous presidents, one of which President Trump. So I just want to give a shout out to him. He has had put together a protocol too of various vitamins and other what they call one of the products that he put together that you can buy. It's called Z-Stack, and it's a way to get your the vitamins you need, supplements you need to get your body in a healthy mode to be able to fight back against the myriad of diseases out there, and a healthy body to fight back against some of these diseases, one of which COVID. Studies are now out and published on what these Patriot doctors, as I mentioned, have been saying for over 2.5 years, warning us again about globally vaccinating in the middle of a pandemic, telling and encouraging that there's treatment, early treatment, not letting not going home with COVID and coming back when you're in trouble. And then again, talking about our immune system and warning against vaccinated our young people, our infants, especially when our young people weren't really affected by this COVID. And studies have been showing that. And this was way at the beginning there were warnings going out as far as leaky vaccines. If you've got a leaky vaccine, that can lead to all other problems, like you never reach herd immunity. And there's study after study right now in other nations and in the U.S. that have been pointing that some red flags are now being raised in public and not being silenced by YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. And again, I would say that there's a very concern about these platforms that have, because of their silencing patriot doctors and people that have been doing recognized professionals, researchers, that there's blood on YouTube's hands for silencing the voices that have come out that were bringing these warnings. So what happens? If your body right now, if you're taking a vaccine that is leaky and it's not protecting you, we already know, everyone's admitting that you get a shot that doesn't necessarily protect you against getting the disease or the virus or transmitting it. That's already out there. And right from the get-go, you heard Fauci, you heard Redfield when he was the director, Valensky talking about, oh yeah, just get the shot and you'll protect yourself and you'll protect Granny. Well, now we're the cat's out of the bag, and now we know that was false. And Fauci, from the get-go, has been wrong every step of the way. He was wrong with masks, and now they want to continue masking our children or recommending that we do that. And again, the people need to rise up and say, no, we're not doing that, and you're not masking our kids up, because there are other problems by masking our kids and putting them in danger by putting a mask on all day in school and producing other issues, communication issues. Kids can't express themselves and you can't see their expressions, and the learning difficulties that have affected our kids right now. And they're saying that our kids in school are years behind because of what they have done, what Fauci has recommended they do. But I want to talk about our kids, because what the researchers have been pointing out now and bringing forth right now is, if your immune system, because our children, infants, for instance, this drug that's out there now that they want to jab in our infants. If you screw up the immune system of our kids, because right now they have an innate immune system, it's learning. And right now what they've been talking about is, if you've got a leaky vaccine, that your body is not, the immune response from your body is reacting to a variant that's no longer in our in the globe right now, then it's responding to a variant that's not around right now, and it misses the variant that's present at any given time. So the immune system could very well be drastically affected in our kids. That's why I believe you're seeing that there's a low percentage of parents that aren't having their kids, their infants and young people getting jabbed, which is a good thing, but the word needs to come out, and there's censorship by YouTube and Twitter and these other platforms need to stop the crime of blanketing, disinformation, misinformation. What they need to do is to say, wait a minute, these so-called approved professionals have been wrong from the get-go. And we need what needs to be said, and President Trump needs to say it, is there's been new research about these vaccines, and we need to stop vaccinating in the United States, period. And say, wait a minute, we need to take a step back here because there's too many people dying, sudden adult deaths right now, people getting neurological damage, women having menstrual issues, sperm counts being, drastically diminished after taking these jabs, and the myriad of neurological issues need to be addressed. There needs to be a full stop, like other countries are starting to say right now. No, we're not. You're not going to jab our kids. You're not going to jab our young people because there's too many issues that's cropping up right now. And President Trump needs to say something like that because we're seeing the evidence right now that the statement or the phrase I might repeat, or I will repeat, is Houston, we have a problem. And there's definitely issues with this mRNA technology, this experiment that's being foisted on a population. And it's so surprising how Pfizer said no, they were requesting information about the trials and what Pfizer has been, what information they have with the mRNA product, and they said, oh well, we don't want to supply that information until 55 years from now. And now we're starting to find out right now because a judge stepped in and said no, we want them. We want that paperwork and documents produced. And now, when you open it up, these side effects and injuries by millions of people globally have been documented in some of these trials, and Pfizer knew about it. So a lot is coming to light right now, and we'll see how YouTube is right in the middle of hushing that up right now, and what they've done over the last 2 years, silencing people and banning people, is part of the crime. And these tech companies need to be held responsible because the professionals that have been peer-reviewed and acknowledged experts in their field have been silenced because they weren't going along with the global message that you got to get a jab or somehow you're evil and you're going to put somebody else in danger. Now we're finding out, and the studies are showing that those that are vaccinated have the issue. They tried to point to the unvaccinated. Now the truth is coming out that really these jabs, in fact, the problem might be, and the evidence is starting to come out now, that it's not the virus that's keeping us from getting herd immunity, but it's the vaccine itself that's causing the problem. And that needs to be told. That, hey, we need to do a full stop, because if the vaccines are exacerbating these variants, and we can't reach herd immunity, Every 6 months you're getting a jab. So this needs to be stopped, because you're never going to get out of this. That's why it's 2.5 years, approaching 3 years, and we're still, it's not even seasonal anymore. And that's the other issue. Before it was, in the summertime, sicknesses would kind of diminish. But we're seeing it doesn't matter what time of what season it is, we've got this problem. So again, President Trump should step forward and say, yeah, we should, there's new information out there right now, and these vaccines, evidence is showing, studies are showing that they might be contributing to what we've been seeing over this last year. I'd like to shift the gears here a bit and talk a bit about our country and our economy. And Thursday, America is in a recession. Two quarters in a row of a negative reporting GDP. But what does Biden's administration and what does Biden say? We aren't in a recession, but the numbers are showing. I mean, he's talking about everything else, but this reporting has been the baseline, has been the standard. And now what does he want to do? He wants to transgender now what is a recession. And we see this game getting played. What did they say regarding inflation? It was transitory until it wasn't. And that's the same deal here. Just come clean, Joe, and just tell the truth. Yes, we are in a recession. But here, we'll see what Joe has to say regarding the numbers here on Thursday, what his response was. Take a look at this.